Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Jelunder Clark here at Wellness Medicine, where we are paving a pathway in medicine to build bridges to optimal health and wellness. We're looking for those people who want vibrant and optimal health. Here at Wellness Medicine, we're looking to find the latest and the greatest in medical technology to bring to you to be able to help you have a better health. In today's program, we're going to be talking a lot about some of the opportunities we have here at Wellness Medicine to be able to help you with your health. I'm going to bring in one of our wellness consultants that's going to talk a little more and give us some updates on a particular person we've been following for just a minute. Of course, Derek Knuckles, DJ. And we're going to be talking about what we're going to be doing for him, and not just him, but what you can also do for yourself to be able to, of course, bring you to that better health. Remember, we're looking for a better you with better health for a better world. We'll be right back after this commercial. Well, welcome back. So today what we're really going to focus on is we're going to talk a little bit about what does prevention mean. And when we say this particular phrase that one of our American presidents has often quoted, and also prevention is worth a pound of cure. So exactly how are we able to wrap that around our lives? And exactly what does that mean? Well, if you think about it, if we really invest in ourselves, invest in our health, and do those things that really do prevent complications down the line, not only are we able to preserve and keep our health, but we're also able to keep our longevity as well as prosperity. Health and wealth really do go synonymous. And not only that, when we talk about wealth, it's not always just related to money. It's about relationships and our family and just having what we consider that total bliss and that happiness. So therefore, when I think about getting a person to understand and look and see what does prevention mean, it's not just about changing the lifestyle. It's about having a lifestyle so you can continue to have the best in your lifestyle. So one of the things I always say is when we talk about disease, I don't really see it as a disease. I see illnesses as diseases. It's a disease in your life that's just to let you know you've got to do something different in order to keep yourself healthy. I always say a lot, even with my diabetic patients, being diagnosed with an illness or a disease is not the end of the world. What you have to do is face the reality of it, figure out what it is, and then figure out what you can do and how you can do those things to be able to keep the best of your health and have better health. So in particular, there's one disease or quote unquote disease process I'm going to particularly focus on right now, which is sleep apnea. I'm choosing sleep apnea right now because for several weeks we've done several segments on one of my patients, Derek Knuckles, DJ. Because if you remember me saying, DJ was the youngest patient I've ever had to diagnose or seen diagnosed with atrial fibrillation. I truly believe this atrial fibrillation was a result of a complication of his sleep apnea. Now, what is sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is when you are actually asleep, you actually stop breathing. Most of the time, this is caused by obstruction of the soft palates, the soft tissues in the back of your throat that cause you to do that quote unquote snoring noise that most people who are sleeping with you cannot stand. But also in that process, what happens is that there are particular times when that palate closes off to where you actually do stop breathing. And when you stop breathing, you stop oxygenating. And when you stop oxygenating, well, guess what? You are definitely right. The body, some parts of the body definitely stop functioning and don't function properly. And believe it or not, that doesn't just happen at the time that you have the sleep apnea episode. It also carries on throughout the day. So I'm particularly interested in that because there are about 12 million Americans who really do suffer with sleep apnea, and many more who've never been diagnosed simply because we just think it's, oh, mom snoring or oh, uncle snoring or, my brother snoring. but that snoring really does have an impact and it's happening for a reason. So as a part of us looking at this optimal and vibrant health, we're going to be focusing a lot on sleep hygiene and what's the best type of sleep and how to get sleep and making sure you're able to get enough sleep. So going back and talking particularly in reference to sleep apnea, how do you know whether or not you have it? It's very simple. You need to see see a doctor for a proper evaluation or sleep study, so that is the best way that you can actually be diagnosed. Getting you more into the treatments of that, I'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to kind of go back and talk about what happens when you do have these episodes where your body's not oxygenating like it should. You have a tendency to have headaches. You have a tendency to have fatigue, a tendency to have this quote unquote mental fog to where you just can't think as properly. It does affect your executive functioning. You also have a tendency to fall asleep in the daytime. And what's really, really significant about that is sometimes people actually fall asleep even at the wheel. Some can even relate it to being something like narcolepsy, but the difference is with sleep apnea, we actually do know what the cause is. So that is just one aspect of some of the things that you can feel when you have sleep apnea. There's another other side to having sleep apnea that is more or less a significant impact on your health from the medical aspect. People who have sleep apnea have a tendency to have higher blood pressures. And a lot of times, being able to diagnose the sleep apnea and correct that can actually correct the quote unquote hypertension that you're taking your medication for. Not only that, as we saw with DJ, sometimes prolonged sleep apnea that goes untreated can actually lead to more serious conditions to where you actually do have arrhythmias. One of the most common arrhythmias that you do have with sleep apnea is atrial fibrillation. That's why when I heard that DJ had been diagnosed with this, I automatically, my antennas for what's happening not only just with our health, but what's happening with our younger generation in reference to their health as well. Because again, that's usually a diagnosis that we see in much, much later generations, but definitely not those who are in their 20s. Again, another significant cause or something that definitely can aggravate sleep apnea is being overweight. So when we are looking at putting together a good sleep hygiene for people, it's got to be honest, we got to come back. Look at lifestyle, look at what you eat, but also we have to look at what your BMI is, your body mass index. Nice fancy word for saying, what do you weigh? Putting all these things together will help us to be able to put a program together for you that really, really helps you to have not only good sleep hygiene, but is one of those steps in the bridges to getting you to having vibrant and optimal health. What we do here at Wellness Medicine, we're very thorough and looking at a lot of different avenues to help make this diagnosis. The sleep study is one of the things that we do here, but not only that, we also look at the autonomic nervous system, which you've heard me talk quite a bit about on Tina Michelle's show, Tina Speaks. The autonomic nervous system is a part of the nervous system that controls the breathing, the heart, and the digestive system past your level of consciousness. So it responds to your emotions. It is the system of your body that's responsible for flight or fright or rest and relaxation. So when you're really anxious and things like that, that stimulates the autonomic nervous system. But also when you're resting and you're calm, you're also working with the autonomic nervous system on the parasympathetic end. The other side is the sympathetic end. In life, what you need to do is balance yourself, your emotions, to where you actually have a balance with both of these systems. Because when you do, that's when you're balanced and you feel better. So what I've come to know is in our testing process here, with using our device to test the autonomic nervous system, we're actually able to detect different frequencies and find out whether or not a person really is having issues with their sleep hygiene. Once we identify that, then we will also send you for a formal sleep study. We've been fortunate enough to identify a technology that allows us to be a sleep study 3 nights, that you don't have to go anywhere to sleep overnight. You're actually able to do this in your home. When we get that report back, it lets us know exactly what your diagnosis is, and then we're able to do further evaluations to see whether there are devices that you might need to sleep in, whether you need to see maybe a specialist, an ENT specialist, or maybe it's just a behavioral therapy that needs to happen in reference to how you to be able to get to your better health. Whatever it is, however we need to do it, we're dedicated to doing our best to give you the best diagnosis so that we can get you the best care. Going back to what we said again, that ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So take a little time to do a thorough investigative diagnostic process to be able to look at all these different avenues and all these different facets of your life and your health as well, allows us to be able to put together a program that helps you to be able to live and be your best. So we'll be back in just a little bit. But here at Wellness Medicine, if you want to know more about all the different things that we do, we're going to go into a little bit more detail with that in the next segment. But please look us up on wellmed.us, WELLMED.us, to get more information. We'll be back in a little bit. Well, once again, welcome back. I'm Dr. Jelunder Clark here at Wellness Medicine, a part of the Wellness Infinity Network, where we're dedicated to having a better you with better health for a better world. As I promised, I have someone who's really very enthusiastic about all the things we've done here at Wellness Medicine and wanted to come in and chime in to find out a little bit more about what's going on with DJ and how that whole aspect is going. So instead of just having to do a conversation on the side, I thought I would bring him in and let's talk about this on the air, because again, every opportunity we have here, we want it to be a learning opportunity. So I want to welcome here at Wellness Medicine, Mr. Jake Whitty.
Dr. Clark, thank you. It's just an honor and a privilege. We go back a little ways, and coming in here, really what attracted me to you was your desire for personalized medicine, really going beyond the traditional side of things and getting into natural, the healing, and not just whether it's supplements, but you talked earlier about relationships. You talked earlier about that connection that we make with people, whether it's emotional support or whatever, and that takes it to a whole nother level. And I know DJ's been important to you, and he's been important to Wellness Medicine here. And I just got an update. Can I give the update today? He just sent me a text.
Okay, go ahead.
Anybody that's been following his story, he's been doing absolutely phenomenal. We're so proud of him. He said he's still at 17 pounds that he's lost.
Okay.
Sleeping better. He just talked about sleep apnea. Mm-hmm. So some of the things that we're doing, they're absolutely seeing improvement. And he's thinking more positive thoughts and appreciating this transformation that he's going through. And he's not going through it by himself. He has a team here at Wellness Medicine. He has Dr. Clark. He has Coach Rob. Just an incredible things that we can do for him. Hasn't had any gallstone attacks this past week, so that's a good update. So
yes.
Keeping very positive. Another positive.
So hold on.
So yeah.
What that really lets me know is that DJ is really back on track.
He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Absolutely. And another good news that he relayed is, and the reason why he's not here today is he's back to work.
Fantastic.
So
of course.
Mm-hmm. Huge step.
Yeah.
And so he's a little bit sore since he hasn't been back to work for a while, and now he's back in that groove. And other than that, he's doing really good. He had a little pain with the sciatic nerve. I think he talked about last week, but so we're proud of DJ and what he's done, how you're helping him. So let's, I guess, a little recap of prevention of some of the things that prevent a young man from going into atrial fibrillation, weight gain, all of that. I mean, there's so many things that we can do. I have a question for you. I know, and we didn't even talk about this. What are some of the maybe one, two most important things in prevention? What can we do on a daily basis for ourselves that can prevent us from having a disease in the body?
Well, we have to go back to some of the very, very basics with this, and that is what we are mostly made out of is just making sure we're just drinking enough what we call quote unquote H2O, which is just water. Just water, water, water. It's the best detoxification. It's the best medicine. It's the best hydration. I mean, you just can't go wrong with it. So the more you drink of it, the better you'll be. Not unless you have some other heart condition, but if you do, your doctor have already told you that. But we definitely know under other circumstances cannot get enough water. So we know the other thing I think I get back with DJ and find out if he's kind of at that plateau at this moment. Got to really make sure that he's drinking enough water because he is going back to work. So you know how it is when you're kind of making those transitions, trying to get your schedule back on point. Got to make sure that he's eating right. He's getting those smaller meals more frequently, getting the proper amount of calories in. Because a lot of times what happens is that we have a tendency to think since we're larger that we need to eat less, and it could be nothing to be farther from the truth, believe it or not. Because when you're bigger, you actually require more calories to move. So when he talks about the fact that he's got a little bit of soreness, things like with moving, it's okay. You want to get in there, you need that type of activity, but again, making sure he's got that right amount of calories on board to be able to help his body be able to move. And you need calories in order to burn fat. And not only that water, water, and more water.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I've even heard it said that water is actually the most important nutritional factor that there is.
Yes.
And I'm always thinking about supplements and things like that, but water is the catalyst.
Yeah.
It brings the nutrients into the cell, helps detoxify the body. Just amazing. So I know that's, we'll recap with DJ. Obviously, he's doing some things right. He's lost weight. He's sleeping better. His energy's up. He's back to work. It sounds like a lot of the patients here at Wellness Medicine, I know we're focused on DJ right now, and the reason that patients get success like this that we are seeing is a lot of the services that you offer, a lot of the personal care that you take, and I mean, there's a long list. You're on the cutting edge of technology. You are personalized medicine encapsulated, and I've seen even over the time we've been that drive to even learn more, take more care of the patient, empower yourself with more knowledge that you can take that intellectual property and pass it on to somebody else where that they can get that result. It's just I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. This is good stuff, right? So
I think I've trained you very well,
Absolutely have. So some of the services that we have, whether it's allergy testing, whether it's the cardiovascular autonomic nervous system, I know that's one of your favorites. That test, I know we're gonna have to come back to that. The balance testing, as far as prevention that we're talking about. We can talk about some of those stats later too. We even have health coaches. I mean, look at what Coach Rob has done for DJ. Just that support is amazing. The sleep study, you talked about that. I've personally done the sleep study, and here's what it is. You don't have to go to another clinic and spend the night in somebody else's bed. You can actually, through Dr. Clark, what she offers here, you can get this equipment, take it home in the comfort of your own home, easily put on, sleep through the night. It records the information that's needed, bring it back here. You can diagnose them, put them on a protocol, what they need, whether it's a CPAP machine or nothing, or maybe just a change of diet or whatever that is. So those are some of the things there. A lot of specialty labs that we do that are far and above anybody else out there. That in general primary practice, you are decades ahead of that.
And so let me tell you the reason why we do those things, because number one things I always look to do is try to find something that's convenient for the patient, to be able to help get a better diagnosis, but not only that finding those things that could be, but really finding those things that help you to be able to understand your own health. So the specialty labs that we do bring in and things of that sort really do a great job of not only helping me to be able to find the latest and the greatest in technology, being able to get a better diagnosis, but
Right.
also bring great, educational and visual materials that really help the patient understand where they are with their health, which is the number one ultimate goal.
I've seen some of these tests, and what she's talking about is as simple as green, yellow, red. I want all mine to be green. I don't want the red. I understand that red is bad. Yellow, hey, I have some work to do. Green, we got to get going. So those things there now, genomic testing, pharmacogenomic testing,
Yes.
DNA testing,
Yes.
how does that help you
Oh,
prescribe better
Mhm.
and better the treatment of the patient?
good. So again, that's kind of getting to that personalized and customized medicine because here, where we are in medicine, we've actually come to the conclusion that, guess what? Not everybody's the same. And we've also come to the conclusion that we can actually do different tests to find out how different people metabolize different medications.
Right.
So therefore, you can be a rapid metabolizer of different medication, you can be a slower, metabolizer of it, depending on which pathway it's actually taken will depend upon whether that medication clears your system, within the time frame that we think it is, or whether it's actually still in your system. Because sometimes if it's still in your system and it's building up, then that's where we kind of wind up getting to drug-to-drug interactions and drug-drug complications. Of course, we unfortunately know that drug-to-drug interactions right now, or just miscalculation with medications is one of our main reasons for hospitalizations right now. So we can all do a better job in
We could
being
probably
able
do
to
an entire show on that.
definitely so. Probably will come back and look at that technology. I think you've got some windows into that technology.
We do.
So-
It's like, now, I know one of the things that I'm excited about, and I know you had an extensive training is, and we're winding the show down, but maybe just take a little bit about the interactive query system, or IQS.
Oh,
Because I know this is going to be something that's going to help DJ and a lot of other patients that you're working with right now.
we're getting to the point where actually we're looking at the energetic patterns of the person and looking at the different systems and being able to look energetically can give you a window into what may be there before it actually manifests. So therefore, being able to have that window allows us to be able to better diagnose. It's a better query system and to be allow me to be able to ask better questions because if I find something that's off the system, not to say that everything's 100%, but it leads me down that road.
So you're asking the patient questions. How does that work? We're getting some kind of feedback, or it's the intent.
We get more biofeedback in it. So therefore, as I'm doing this, I'm testing the different levels of different systems within the body. If I get a reading that's not optimal, that's not there, then that allows me to stop and ask the patient questions about what's going on with this, what's going on with that.
So it's giving you an insight, and I've seen this happen where people are absolutely amazed that you would know what's going on with them without them even bringing anything, telling you any information about them.
Well, the body is just such a magnificent and one of the complex computers that's known to man, believe it or not. So what we're doing with this is just finding a way to be able to have a diagnostic tool that reads that computer so that we can actually get a better diagnostic or get better windows and to find out, what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that system. It's not something you do when you take your car in. You plug it in, give you that diagnostic tool, say, okay, you look at this and that and this and that.
Well,
we're doing the same thing.
We're definitely going to have to learn so much more about this. There's so many things that we can bring, that you are bringing to the medical community and to the local communities and through all the affiliations that you have. Dr. Clark, last week you had an incredible week. This week, another one. And I know we have about maybe 1 minute. How about you wrap up and share what's going on?
Well, absolutely. So first of all, I want to thank you so very much for coming on board, more or less and sharing with us. and definitely give me the update on DJ. I have several, wellness consultants that do work with me here. So Jake is just one of those persons that's just bringing a lot of great things to wellness medicine. It's been a fantastic week for me. I want to say once again congratulations to Jelunder Clark, graduating from McIntosh High School. So real proud of you. Also, Jeffrey Davis, who was one of my sons who actually graduated, the weekend before that, and we just had a great time. Had my family in. Just wonderful, always again to have those great relationships that keep you bonded and keep you strong. So again, thank you guys so very much for joining us here at Wellness Medicine. And if you want more information, find us at wellmed.us, WELLMED.us. Thank you again for joining us and have a wonderful week.